Hello, I'm Attila, the developer of VamporiumMAP. VamporiumMAP is an easy and versatile map generator available on the Unity AssetStore. In this video I will show you how easy it is to create a map. First, I'll create an empty game object to which I'll add the map component. Then I'll create a map info by clicking on the new button here. After choosing a directory and a name for the new asset, I hit save. This will create and automatically assign the new file to the map info field. After this, I can set up this map info depending on how I want the map to be like. For this instance, I will leave everything at default. As an optional step, I can give the random generator a seed. I can also assign a game object to the parents for tiles field of the map. This is where the chunks and the tiles will be parented. If this field is left to be null, the map will use its own game object for this. The last step would be to add the effects. These will affect the look of the chunks and tiles. So first, I tell the map to use a prefab for tiles. For this, I need to create a map tile model effect and set its model prefab field to my prefab. For the sake of speed, I've already prepared a prefab with a hex model. To keep checking it out with this little helper here, just quickly set it up like so and hit generate. However, if we preview our map in this stage, it's not too impressive, so I'll add another effect that will colorize the tiles. There are a few ways to do this, but for now I'll create an effect that is named Map Material Color. This needs a value on which the coloration will be based. The value can be a number of pre-made values that VamporiumMAP provides. This time I'll use the one named Scriptable Value Formulas. Then I set up the gradient for the coloration. After all of these, I hit generate. This is not the best result, because I didn't set up the value I've created for the effect, so I'll do it now. This is the part where I could keep fiddling with the settings until I'm fully satisfied with the result. However, with the help of these little buttons, I'll paste the settings I've prepared for this tutorial. If I hit generate now, the result looks more like a map. For an elevated map, I need to use another effect named Map Elevation. So I will create one. This will also need a value for the height map. For now, I'll drag the value I've used for the coloration. The result can be seen by pressing generate again. This is a bit better. As you can see, the coloration is corresponding with the elevation of the tile. This is happening because I've used the same scriptable value for both the coloring and elevating effects. However, if this is the result I want, I would be better off using another value type instead of scriptable value formulas for the coloration. It's the scriptable value tile elevation, which will colorize the tiles depending on their Y position. This will work for smaller and static maps. But for better performance, I could combine the meshes of all tiles in a chunk and have only one mesh per chunk. However, in this case the map material color will not work because that only colorizes the material of each tile. Since I'll have a single material per chunk, I need another solution. The very first thing I need to do is to enable the map component to combine the tiles. The effect I need to use is Map Vertex Color, so I'll create one with the new button. This will create a new instance of this effect and automatically swap the reference. The settings will be just the same as it was on the other colorizing effect. Map Vertex Color will colorize the tiles by setting the vertex color of each vertex from the mesh. The effect also needs a material with a shader that supports this, so I have one prepared. Now I have two options to use this new material. One would be to change the material of the tile in the prefab. However, if I want to keep the prefab unchanged, I could change the material of each tile or chunk with an effect called Map Material. This time, this is what I'm going to do. I'll add an empty effect to my list and create a new instance of this effect. Hitting generate, we can see that each chunk is a single mesh, thus drastically improving the time it takes to generate and reducing the number of draw calls. However, as we can see, this mesh combining feature ruined the map, but this is easily fixed in the map info. I just set the scale mode field to flipped Y and we're back to normal. So, this was a quick introduction to VamporiumMAP. I've presented the most basic effects and settings that would be enough to easily generate maps for your games. There are more effects to play with, like spawning objects, creating biomes, the ability to stack and blend effects and values, dynamically generate an endless procedural map, etc. Further information can be found in the assets documentation. You can also check out the other tutorials, links in the description.